All right, all right. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and we're getting ready to go live on the air, kinetichi with Heart Talk. And we're going to be live on Facebook as well. All right, all right. It is 10:33, and you're tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on KineticHiFi.com, your community station with international inspiration. And we are ready to inspire and uplift and encourage you. This is the talk portion of our show. This is where we come to renew our minds and restore our hearts. This segment is brought to you by my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. And you can pre-order your copy of Help Save Me from My Broken Heart at theheartconnections.com, theheartconnections.com. We are this is Think About It Tuesday. Think About It Tuesday. And one of the reasons I want us to talk about thinking about it is because many of us think thoughts, but we never really think about what we're thinking. Our quote of the day comes from Albert Einstein, and it says, "The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking." I had this conversation with a friend of mine not too long ago because I was challenging a certain way that she was thinking, a way that I myself had been thinking up until not long before our conversation. And it was just so closely related to the quote of the day. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. This is a, a very bitter truth for a lot of people, but it's the truth. So it hurts sometimes, but it also sets you free. The world that you live in, the life that you're living, is a product of the way that you're thinking. And the only way you're going to be able to change that world that you're in is by you changing the way that you're thinking. It's not going to happen by the government passing a certain law for this to happen. It's not going to happen if your husband finally does what he needs to do, or if your wife finally starts to clean the house. These things are not going to happen because of that. The only way you're going to change your reality, the world, and life the way that you know it is by you changing the way that you think. You have to think about what you're thinking. You have to not only think about it, but then you're going to have to make some choices and some decisions surrounding what you're thinking. You have to acknowledge that your thinking is toxic and the way that you're viewing things is not helping you, is hurting you. All of these things have an impact and they come into play when we think about the lives that we are living. I have had to sit down and do inventory in my own life. And personally, I had to arrest some thoughts that were coming to mind. I had to really look at some things that were going on, some cycles that I continuously find myself in. And I'm like, okay, what am I thinking about this? And what I was thinking about it was a direct representation of what was happening. The anxiety, the anxiousness, the frustration, that internal grind that you feel right there in your gut when you think about certain things. Those situations in your life usually bring about that type of stress or pain or strife because of the way you're thinking about it. A thought is defined as an idea or opinion produced by thinking or occurring suddenly in the mind, one's mind or attention, an act of considering or remembering someone or something, an intention, hope, or idea of doing or receiving something, a thought. The thoughts that we have in our minds, the intentions, hopes, or ideas that we have in our minds are forming our lives. What is your intention for yourself? Do you know that if you don't have an intention, that's an intention of it in and of itself? Think about what you're thinking. Where are you going? What do you want to do in life? I really need you to process these things, because y'all, let me tell you something. We when we have the mental health issues that we have going on in the country, that we see, when we have wars and rumors of war all over the place, when we have such dysfunctional family dynamics and things of that nature, because people are trying to make sense of the crazy thoughts that are in their head, and instead of arresting those thoughts and placing the right thoughts in their mind, they just continue to allow the negative things that they're thinking to come to mind. The Bible tells us in Proverbs, the book of wisdom, that it tells us that as a man thinketh, so is he. What are you thinking? If you think you're less than, then that's the life you're going to live. And what I found about people who are like arrogant or very full of themselves, see, it's not about what you're portraying to other people. It is about what you feel on the inside, your inner thoughts. Your inner thoughts about you affect what comes out of you. Your inner thoughts about you affect your relationships. Your inner thoughts about you affect your health. Your inner thoughts about you affect your aspirations, and your actually how you live in the world, how you fulfill your purpose, how you make your money, how you have fun and enjoy yourself, the way you eat, the places you go, the things that you do, how you spend your time when you're with people, what do you do when you're by yourself. All of those things are affected by the way that you're thinking. And many of us, when you hear me label all of those things that are affected by the way that you think, you can think of some of those areas that you complain about. Some of those areas in your life right now, you may be like, I'm tired. I feel like I'm always in the same routine, and I'm always doing the same thing, and I'm ready for something. I'm ready to do something different in my life, or whatever the case may be. But guess what? It's all on you. You're the one who's going to decide if you're going to do something different in your life. This is not going to come from anybody else. It's going to come by way of what you're thinking. And this heart talk, let me tell you something. I'm not looking to just get you. I don't want you to just have an emotional reaction to what you hear me talking about. When you hear me talking about things, I want you to really think about what you hear me talking about. And I want you to apply these things to your everyday life. I want you to think about what you're thinking about. What do you think about people when they walk by? What type of assumptions do you make, if you make any at all? How do you feel when good things happen for people, when things are going good in your life? But also, how do you feel when good things are happening for people when things aren't going good for you? How do you judge those who are struggling in areas that you're strong in? What do you say to those who have addictions in different areas and things of that nature, things that are on the surface? How do you judge them? How do you gauge them? And then I want you to think about, how do you gauge yourself in the areas that you're weak in, but nobody knows about? What are you thinking? What you're thinking has everything to do with the way that you're living. For those of us, especially like we're going to get more into this with our heart talk segments today. So make sure you're tuned in. You can catch me on Facebook Live, on the Heart Connections, or on my personal page at Adelai Brown. You can also catch me on YouTube on the Heart Connections page at bit.ly/Heart Connections. And it's the Heart Connections, and I'll be live there. You can also, of course, I want you on the air. But if you want to check me and see me live, you can. But I want you guys to be here, because I'm going to keep talking about this, because this is something a lot of people don't like to deal with. A lot of people don't like to think about what they're thinking about, because it's difficult and it's frustrating. And guess what? The funny thing about it is, their lives are difficult and their lives are frustrating, but they choose not to think about what they're thinking about. If you want to see a shift, if you want to see something better, and the thing about it, if you want to see a shift and you want to see something better in your life, if you want to see yourself having a greater impact in the world, if you want to have more influence in the environment you find yourself in, I want to encourage you to think about what you're thinking about. How do you view those around you? Who are you spending most of your time with? What type of conversation do you have? What are you thinking about? What are you talking about? Are you complaining or are you seeking out and coming up with solutions? Are you someone that likes to stay busy because you don't want to deal with the issues that you have on the inside? So you make yourself feel better by being busy taking care of everybody else? And you make it so that you don't have time to deal with your issues? Let's think about what we're thinking about. Do you really love what you see in the mirror? Do you really love yourself? Do you care about yourself? Do you love those that are around you? How good are you with loving people who are difficult to love? How about people who have told you they don't love you or have been vocal about the fact that they don't care about you? What is your attitude towards them? Think about what you're thinking about. How do you feel when you think about the things, the dreams that you didn't fulfill, the visions that didn't come to pass? What are you thinking about? I want us to think about this today. This is Think About It Tuesday. And we're going to think about it. We are going to work through these kinks. We are going to deal with these character deflaws that are holding us, defaults, excuse me, defects, character defects that are holding us back from being where we need to be, doing what we need to do, living the way we need to live, love the way we need to love, and not just love, but be loved, receiving love the way we need to receive it. I want you to think about it. I really do. I want you to um, get your mind in order. Get your mind in order. And I'll be back. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration, kinetichi-fi.com. Make sure you pre-order your copy of Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again at theheartconnections.com. Also, you can check out the Help Save Me Mother's Day brunch. Tickets are limited, guys, but it's going to be great. So you can get your tickets there as well, theheartconnections.com. The Sisters Think About It Tuesday. Got some requested music. Thanks for the idea, Ebony. Think about it right here. All right, guys. Good